everything and get out of here on time, that would be awesome.
Yep, students first.
Last week, the boys basketball team had 2 away games. On Wednesday, we went to Kirby, and on Friday, we played Rancho San Juan. And as expected, we won both games.
Girls are at 4-4. JV's at 5:30 and varsity's at 7. I know it's kind of late, but it's not like you're going to be doing homework anyway, so come out. Come out, show us some love, and we'll get this done tonight.
Yeah, so it'll be at the upper field at 3:30, and hope to see you guys there.
So LitMag still is a thing, I promise. We're going to be having a meeting tomorrow in room 8, so that's B-Day. Also, please submit to LitMag. We do have a box in the library, but it's more accessible if you just email it at litmag@york.org. We're going to be hopefully putting out a pre-issue if we get a bunch of submissions later in the spring. So please submit and come to the meeting. Girls soccer we have our first game today, and it's against Anzar at 4. No, it starts at 3:30. Yeah, and then.
Okay, so we're going to be hosting a volleyball tournament in the gym.
It's going to start tomorrow, so the teams are on Tuesday, 8th and 9th are going to be playing the 10th graders, and then on Wednesday, the juniors and the seniors are going to play each other, and then on Thursday, the winners are going to play the winners, and then on Friday, the winners of Thursday's game, they're going to play the faculty. We're going to post this on like the York Falcon feed, so you don't really need to remember it, but keep that in mind. Thank you.
There will be an activism meeting today in room 4 during lunch. We're going to be talking about the Women's March coming up this Saturday. Hope to see you guys there.
Chess Club is going to meet tomorrow at lunch in the Commons.
For the majority of my life, I hated classical music. And yes, hate is a strong word. To me, classical music felt like a chore to listen to, like something I was required to find interesting and meaningful, like something I listened to while crammed into the backseat of my grandma's stuffy, perpetually hot car, or while nervously waiting to see the dentist. It just seemed to be the detritus of another era that had somehow hung around into this one. However, my musical apathy did not stop me from auditioning for a youth orchestra. My friends were doing it, so why not? This quality reasoning was what led me to the steps of the rehearsal venue, feeling more than a little nervous. I hadn't yet practiced the music, and I had no idea what was in store for me behind the wooden door. I went in, sat down, warmed up, and tuned my bass clarinet. The conductor brought his baton down, and we started to play. I fumbled through the notes, and I came in several bars too early and too late. But worst of all, it was boring. The music was too challenging to appreciate playing, and I sure didn't like listening to it, so I found myself staring up at the clock, waiting for it to be over. It just seemed to be the most excruciating 2 hours of my life. Nevertheless, I kept going back, week after week. Maybe it was some desire to understand this thing I disliked so strongly, or I need to come to terms with my lack of musical fortitude, but it was probably my mom. Every week, every hour practicing, the music seemed to get easier. I would understand a complicated rhythm, or the orchestra would be able to play through an entire section of a piece without getting off tempo or off the beat. Even these small achievements felt momentous after weeks fumbling through the pieces. We started as separate individuals with our separate instruments, all going in separate directions, but now it felt as if we were working together as a team, fumbling through the hours of practice and rehearsal to create something. Music worth listening to. Then, without much warning, the concert appeared on the horizon and the music started to come together. Harmonies danced where I could not hear them before, and the music began to improve in leaps and bounds as we listened to our playing and thought about what we could do to make it more musical. I was rejoicing in playing and hearing the way the music twisted and turned, morphing, but still staying true to the theme of the melody. I'd even started to like listening to classical music. I could hear the way the layers seemed to work, the way the layers, from the lowest string bass to the highest piccolo, seemed to work in tandem, creating intricate harmonies and building tension only to release it at the last second. I could hear the effort put into every note, the time put into every line. This dawning understanding was what allowed me to start enjoying classical music. It did not happen at one moment, during one movement or one symphony, but very gradually, until eventually classical music no longer seemed like a thing of some pastime, but a thing that was very much current and relevant. I realized what it is that makes music so special and different. It is the people who work so hard to produce it, working through imperfections in their playing to bring this music to life. Classical music is not just background sound for a doctor's office or a car. It is something to be reveled in and appreciated. Without the imperfections and the effort injected into it, this timeless music would not be the beautiful, unique entity that it is to me. Thank you.
So we are the coaches for the boys lacrosse team, and we lost a lot of seniors last year. We are trying to get a sense for how much participation there will be this year, and we are looking for new players. Boys lacrosse will be a JV sport this year, so it's an excellent time for somebody who is new to the sport to try it out. If you have any experience in team sports of any kind, you may find that you are drawn to this and you pick it up quite quickly. Coach?
That's a great game, and don't be afraid if you've never played before. We're going to have a meeting. We're going to meet after.
Let's meet after.
Okay. We're going to have a quick sort of head count and 30-second meeting at the flagpole after break. If you're at all interested, you want to borrow a lacrosse stick to toss around, just to check it out, just come say hello. It's a great game, and we have a lot of fun up there in the spring on the upper field with good guys working hard and getting better. So be open to it, I would say. The other thing I had, that's it on cross. I think I like the tradition of clubs, individuals, getting up here to make purely informational announcements and doing something a little bit funny or giving back to the audience in a way. Not just because I miss Adam Shapiro and his paper airplanes from the upper balcony, but it sort of acknowledges that the audience is paying you something and you're looking to pay the audience back a little bit. So in the spirit of the good kind of quid pro quo, I have something that's been bouncing around my head. I was running a couple weeks ago with some students, and we were talking about Miss Sherry's little bit of wisdom that sometimes teenagers are like a duck on the water, and placid above and paddling like hell underneath. And we realized that that's a great metaphor, but it doesn't fit every teenager, and that there are some other animals that are more appropriate for some of you. So I sat down over a cup of coffee this morning, and I generated a few. You're welcome to add your own after this, but I wonder if you recognize any of these. There's the dog, okay, who's eager, happily works for praise. The cat, who's mostly lazy but punctuated with extreme activity, usually late at night. The groundhog, who goes totally silent for weeks at a time in class and then pops up to say something smart every once in a while. The moose methodically chews through material, makes the best Quizlets and takes the best notes. Paired, of course, with the mosquito, who's entirely parasitic and uses the notes. There's the bat, who sleeps through class and then emails me at like 3 in the morning. The draft horse, who's capable of immense work, mostly in a straight line, contrasted with the fox, who kind of zigs and zags creatively and cleverly through material, but is often distracted. The ant, who's just a Herculean worker, particularly in groups. The turtle, easygoing, but at the first sign of academic danger, retreats into Smash Bros. The turkey, who saw his reflection once and never will go to the library again. The sloth, whom we all love and will get there eventually. The hyena, who circles the carcasses of his essays and quizzes, scavenging for points. The rabbit, who's alert and dutiful, but scares easily, no pop quiz jokes around rabbits. The zebra, who is prepared and engaged on alternating days of the cycle. The parrot, who repeats exactly what the teacher says and nothing more. The eagle, who sees every new grade on haiku and squawks about it. The bear, who of course hibernates all winter and emerges in the spring, hungry for good grades. And finally, the pair of swans, who are never apart and never not awkward. If there's a lesson from this, maybe there's 3 things. 1, I just love getting up here and giving you guys a hard time. 2, it's wonderful to be back from break. I've missed my students, and it's great to see you in class. 3, be honest with yourself about what kind of animal you were this fall, and candid with yourself about what kind of animal you want to be in the spring. Welcome back. It's good to see you guys.
There's not a faculty version of that. So this volleyball tournament that's happening this week, here's something that you may or may not know about me. I'm really, really competitive. So whatever class wins, I want to incentivize the faculty game on Friday, and that is I will personally pay for a pizza party if, and only if, you can actually beat the faculty in this volleyball game on Friday. And I do want to say, we are putting together our team, but the person that I would like to stand up is Mr. Partlow. Please stand up. This is our center. So, that's right. And faculty, for you, I will also incentivize this somehow. Maybe I'll buy you pizza, maybe I'll buy you ice packs, co-pays at the doctor after the game. All right, so bring it on Friday. Faculty will be there, ready to play.
Bring it on!
Juniors, we're going to have a do-over with the sign-ups for Pathways. So there were some issues. So tomorrow morning, I'll post a new sign-up at 8 a.m. Be there. Find the pencil at the end of the very long string attached to my door and sign up there. Tuesday night for 10th and 11th graders, tomorrow night, is the PSAT score report handout along with Revolution Prep. We're going to go over what that score report means. So come pick up your score reports, tell your parents, be here. It'll be in the chapel tomorrow night. And then Thursday for 11th graders is the first practice prep class for SAT and ACT preparation. So if you signed up for that, please start Thursday. And if you haven't signed up, you still have time to go online and sign up for the SAT, ACT prep class. Thank you very much.
AMC Math Contest Thursday, January 30th. I have a list of people who have signed up. There is still time to sign up if you are interested. I'm going to post this on the bulletin board, but if you're not on the list and you would like to be, please let me know. Also, for the next few late start days, I'm looking for any teams or clubs or classes that want to do pizza sales on late start days. Please come and talk to me if you're interested in that. I am the alternate center, so.
Good morning. I'd just like to offer a heartfelt thank you to all of the students that were here yesterday for our third and final open house of the admission season, what we call Inside York. You took some time out of your busy weekend to join us on a Sunday, and while there are many adults that we should recognize and thank as well, like Mr. Bachman and Mr. Wilcox, Mrs. Pompin, and all the teachers that were here, we just want to take a moment to recognize what you do as students when you are members of SHIELD and you come to share the York story. People in this community recognize that you are authentic, that you are well-spoken, that you are engaging, and they pick up on the positivity and the joy that you communicate in those experiences, which is so valuable in trying to communicate why it's wonderful to be a student at York School. I'll just leave you with a couple of anecdotes. Aiden, who is not yet a member of York SHIELD, stayed late just to help break some things down and was a wonderful ambassador yesterday. And then late in the afternoon, Caden was playing chess with a prospective student. And
an hour early.
What's that?
Also an hour early.
Yeah, that's okay, but you stayed late. And those little moments are really meaningful for us, and parents and students pick up on the little things that you're doing. It's a great pleasure to open up your door and welcome people into your house and to share the warmth and hospitality, and I just really appreciate those of you that are doing that on campus. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
Thank you for your sophomore speech today. It goes right into Thursday night because that is our instrumental concerts. Be here at 6:30. We're highlighting jazz band, and strings. We'll be starting in the theater, coming over here to the chapel, and then we'll end in the theater. Our students have been working hard in the instrumental program, so we hope to see you there. It's at 6:30. And now, without further ado,
okay, so I'm a little nervous right now, and I don't know if you know why, but I'll tell you anyway because we're all watching. Okay, so right here in my hands is something very special. It's a poster. Now, what this poster is, if you are thinking, it is a Winter Ball poster. And if you don't know what Winter Ball is, it's a dance. It's pretty, it's cool and everything. But I'm asking someone very special to my heart. You may know her, you may not. It's Esme, this girl right here. Woo! So Esme, will you go to Winter Ball with me? Of course! Of course, yes.
How could you? Now I have no one to go with.
They did. I'll go with you.
You'll go with me to Winter Ball on January 24th.
Wait, did you say January 24th from 8 to 11 p.m. in the chapel?
Yes, I did.
sophomore class who designed, edited, and printed the pictures. So can everybody give them a round of applause? The Google form for the music request will be up on Haiku soon, and we will announce ticket prices on Wednesday.
And please come. If I didn't want to embarrass myself for nothing. So please come. Hopefully it'll be really fun and exciting. Hopefully. Yeah.
Basketball starts on January 25th. Reach Art starts on February 14th. The Village Project, I need some leaders that might want to do an art project or gardening over in Seaside. If you want to be a volunteer at the aquarium, applications open tomorrow. If you'd like to do the outdoor science school for May or March, spring break, that's available, okay? So there's lots more opportunities on Haiku. Those are the ones coming up. Volunteer!
Exec has a meeting today, room 4 at lunch.
Go to class.